And this is the Blass family on the beach at Barrow in Furness with some of my favourite relatives, Nancy, Betty and her husband Jock. It was very cold and windy. It was always cold and windy at Barrow, but we didn't care. We loved it. I still love it. The little boy is Michael, my brother. And that's our poodle, Fluffy, who lived to be 16. That's Jock with my brother. And that's Nancy. And I think that's me on the ground looking at shells. I usually was. And that's my dad, Ron Blass. Mum must have been filming this. That's me in the anorak. Anoraks were such a 60s thing, weren't they? This is 1968. Fluffy, it's lovely to see him again. Nancy holding Michael's hand. Nancy was a fantastic cook. Jock was an absolutely lovely man who died far too young in his 50s. This is Tarn House in the Lake District. This was, I would guess, probably autumn half term or winter. It certainly doesn't look too warm. Here I am, posing, I'm not sure why. That camera was totally iconic. My Instamatic 100, I loved it. And here's my dad with fishing nets. We always had fishing nets. Tarn House is still one of my favourite places. And here I am with Fluffy. I still can feel that feeling of him pulling on the lead. I don't know what I'm doing there. This is Bonfire Night. Bonfire Night at our house, number 62, was an event that happened every year for years and years and years, and it was always absolutely mega. Loads of people from the local community came, lots of friends and relatives came. This was the year that my cousin Linda was living with us, 1968, and she pops up in it. Sadly, she died aged far too young, aged 35. That's me, that's Joe Bloom. That's Linda, Amy Southall's daughter. We used to cook potatoes in the fire. We did the whole thing. It's quite a good Catherine wheel, but they usually fell off and didn't do a lot. Sid Bloom, who is now 93 and looks very much the same. That's my brother Michael. Oh yes, of course. We had toffee apples. We had gingerbread. And we had a very good bonfire. That's me. I absolutely loved it. Joe Bloom and I would start getting ready for bonfire night, collecting wood weeks and weeks before. That's Ruth Bloom. Another Catherine wheel. It was clearly a good year for Catherine wheels. So this is in our garden in Leeds, 1968. We were very fond of sparklers. We always had sparklers. And here's my brother Michael on his tricycle outside our garage. And that's the end of that film.